Can LeBron James' son live up to his dad's massive legacy? Let's face it, Bronny James' freshman season at USC hasn't exactly been great. Through 18 games, he's averaging less than 6 points, 3 assists, and 3 rebounds, shooting 37% from the field and a mere 28% from three-point range. Some people think he's not ready for the big leagues and doesn't deserve a shot, while the others are divided into subgroups. Some seem to have it out for him, or they're just tired of all the hype for LeBron. But before we jump to any conclusions, let's take a step back and explore why maybe, just maybe, we shouldn't give up on Bronny James just yet. Sure, his stats aren't exactly stellar, but there's a lot more to it than meets the eye. First, let's look at Bronny and his recent health scare. It was a shock for everyone when he suffered a cardiac arrest during practice, sending ripples of concern throughout the basketball community. Luckily, he's in good health now, but it was a tough road to recovery. He didn't get the all-clear to hit the court again until late last year, after multiple months of being sidelined and unable to train or bond with his team. And USC's season hasn't been smooth sailing either. Despite high expectations and some top recruits, they've hit a few bumps along the way. Now, before we start judging Bronny's performance, let's take a step back and look at the bigger picture. Sure, he's facing some tough challenges right now, but let's not forget who he was before all this drama unfolded. Just last year, ESPN had him high up in their mock drafts, even tipping him for a top 10 pick shortly before his health scare. But those scouts weren't praising his scoring or shot-creating abilities. Nope, they were eyeing a different Bronny altogether, not the flashy kid we saw dominating on the court as LeBron's son. A lot has changed since his high school graduation from Sierra Canyon, a powerhouse program loaded with top-tier recruits. With such a stacked roster, Bronny had to adjust his game and play a role off the ball as a freshman. Surprisingly, he embraced it, and it started to shape his game. From a flashy point guard to a small combo guard known for his defense and three-point shooting, Bronny proved he's more than just LeBron's kid. Alright, let's dive into how scouts sized up Bronny's game. During most of his high school career, he was sliding down the rankings, especially after a tough injury setback in 2021. But then, something clicked in the summer before his senior year. He hit a growth spurt, got more athletic, and emerged as one of the top defenders in his class. Despite averaging just 14 points a game, mostly from fast breaks and spot-up shooting, scouts saw potential in his playmaking and ball handling skills. But what really caught their attention was his defense. That's what boosted his draft stock, even if it wasn't the flashy stuff you see in highlight reels. Now, Bronny's projected to be a top 10 pick largely thanks to his defensive skills. And let me tell you, he's still holding it down on that end of the court. So when it comes to assessing his game, we're all about keeping it fair. Let's see what he's bringing to the table. Now, Bronny went through some real challenges, like losing 13 pounds in the blink of an eye. But then, out of nowhere, he's swatting shots like it's nobody's business. When it came to scoring, he was hitting a rough patch, especially from downtown. Here's the thing about his shooting struggles. Are they just a temporary hiccup? We've seen him drain deep shots like a pro. Remember when he nailed one from NBA range? Yeah, that was something else. And let's not forget, some players get drafted based on their reputation before college or even after facing health setbacks. So, was considering Bronny for the draft this summer a stretch? Tough to say. But we're kind of leaning towards the idea that under normal circumstances, he'd be a top contender. But not everyone's on board with that. According to Brendan Marks from The Athletic, if you take away the famous name, Bronny's just a solid college player needing to polish his game. And hey, let's not overlook the team he's playing for. They've had a bumpy ride. Let's not count Bronny out just yet. Jimmy Butler also went through this. When Jimmy first hit the college hoop scene at Marquette, he wasn't exactly setting the world on fire like he does now. In his freshman season, he put up some okay numbers, but nothing that made you go, wow. Meanwhile, Bronny's stats at USC look pretty similar to Jimmy's back in the day. Both were putting up around 5 points a game and grabbing a few rebounds and assists here and there. But here's where things get interesting. Bronny's already started a handful of games for USC, which is a bit different from Jimmy's situation. Now, Jimmy Butler's rise to stardom in the NBA is pretty legendary. He had this intense drive and determination to prove everyone wrong, And boy, did he ever. But Bronny's journey is completely different. I mean, let's be real. Being LeBron James' son comes with some pretty hefty expectations. But despite all that pressure, Bronny's got a chance to carve out his own path. Sure, he's had some setbacks, like that scary health scare and his so-so performance in his freshman year. But hey, the only way to go from here is up, right? It's not fair to expect Bronny to be the next LeBron James right off the bat. Who could live up to that? But with his dad's legacy behind him, he's got some extra motivation to prove himself in the NBA. What are NBA teams really thinking about Bronny James? LeBron's been dreaming of playing alongside his son, but time's ticking. With LeBron's uncertain future with the Lakers, there's a lot on the line. Plus, Bronny's got some decisions to make about his own future. Will he stick around at USC or jump to the NBA? It's up in the air. And if he does decide to take the leap, where's he going to land? Vegas odds have the Lakers as top contenders, but teams like the Heat and the Cavaliers are in the mix too. LeBron's got some serious pull here, but it's not just about personal connections. Teams like the Hornets might need more than just Bronny to secure LeBron. Then there's the Knicks and Thunder, eyeing Bronny for their squads. It's a wild ride, and while it's hard to imagine Bronny going in the first round, hey, anything's possible. And let's not forget the haters. Despite bouncing back from injuries and setbacks, they're still chirping. But if Bronny proves them wrong again, it'll be a sight to see. So, what's next for Bronny? Well, he's likely to keep developing his game either at USC for another year or possibly with an NBA organization's G League team. He's got the drive and the resources to keep improving, with a little help from his dad, of course. NBA scouts are already keeping an eye on him. They like his defensive skills, his athleticism, and his basketball IQ. Even though his stats might not be eye-popping, he's the kind of player who can make a difference on the court without needing the ball in his hands all the time. Now, it's not guaranteed that Bronny will be a first-round pick in the draft, but there's still plenty of examples of players with similar stats getting drafted and developing into solid pros. And yeah, being LeBron's son might give him a bit of a leg up, but it's all about finding the right fit with the team that drafts him. So, Bronny's got some big decisions ahead, but no matter what, he's proven he can handle the pressure and keep getting better. And who knows? Maybe one day we'll see him and LeBron sharing the court in the NBA. It's definitely a story worth keeping an eye on. So yeah, maybe Bronny's journey will have some similarities to Jimmy Butler's. Maybe he'll use all that pressure and doubt as fuel to become a star in his own right. We'll just have to wait and see how it all plays out. Do you think Bronny will get drafted this year, or do you think he'll stay at USC for another season? It would be pretty amazing to see this father-son duo play together to cap off a legendary NBA career. Anyways, if you enjoyed this video, I guarantee you'll enjoy these two as well.